They finally announced Resident Evil 9 with a funny anecdote. A few days ago, I did see in the news on my cell phone, where there's the news feed section. I saw like something that said Resident Evil Requiem announced, and I thought, okay, this is just another CG movie, because looking at the title, I assumed this was gonna be a CG movie. No, it's actually Resident Evil 9. And I, when I see these titles like Requiem, Retribution, Apocalypse, and stuff like this, I always think we've reached the critical mass point of any franchise, because they really don't know what to call the games, because when you reach like big numbers like 8, 9, 10, people get scared when they see that kind of number, because if they haven't played the previous games, they think, oh fuck, I have to play all these games previously to understand this one. So yeah, I think that's why they start naming the games with these silly names that are copy and paste pretty much between each franchise. But yeah, so they've announced this game. There's not much to say, because it's just a trailer, no gameplay. But there are a couple interesting things to discuss, I have noticed. I'm sure other people have noticed too. But first, the thing that caught my eye is that the protagonist of this game seems to be the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, I think was her name, which is a Resident Evil Outbreak character. Now, what I find interesting about this is that why would they pick such a minor character to star in the next mainline title? Because I mean, you can argue about Resident Evil being popular or not. I mean, Resident Evil is popular, but Outbreak has always been a niche title so far. Not many people have played it. So the fact that they're actually going with the daughter of such a minor character, the vast majority of people who have played Resident Evil don't know who Alyssa Ashcroft is. So it makes me think that maybe they are doing something behind behind the lines, in the background with the Outbreak. Maybe a remake of Outbreak, maybe a re-release, because this just seems like too much out of the blue, in my opinion, to have this minor character be relevant all of a sudden. And of course, I think at this point the formula for Resident Evil is gonna be, when it comes to the characters, that you get a new character. Like in the last big Resident Evils, that's been the case. Like starting from 6, you've gotten new characters along all like legacy characters. And I think it's gonna be the way moving forward, because the legacy characters have become too strong, honestly. Like if you wanna make a somewhat horror title, you can't have Chris and Leon. Chris and Leon at this point, they are pretty much superheroes. They have transcended humanity. So if you want to have a horror game, you'll have to have them like as secondary characters. So like Ethan and Chris. Like Ethan is the protagonist and Chris is guardian angel, you wanna say. So like the Metal Gear Solid 2 treatment, you play as the rookie, not so rookie, because these characters always turn out to be somewhat special. And then you have the main legacy character in the background doing his own thing, and then you meet and play together, like collaborate for a few minutes, and then back to his own, each character back to his own thing. So I think the game is gonna have either Leon or Chris. Most likely Leon, because in the last games we always gotten Chris. Maybe Jill too, who knows? But I think Leon is a lock. And the other big thing to discuss is that there seems to be the ruins of Raccoon City as playable like location, from what I understand. So now, the thing that I find somewhat curious is that, as far as I remember, every time they have shown in the previous games, like the supposed aftermath of the missile attack on Raccoon City, it always has been shown as a total like ground zero, like bunch of rubble. From what I remember, like I mean, in the ending of the original Resident Evil 3, it's not shown the aftermath of the new. It's not the nuke. It's a thermobaric missile. But it's still the same. Like it's still a giant missile. So it seems like in the ending of the original Resident Evil 3, it seems that the whole city is being like atomized. And from what you see in one of the endings of Outbreak, I think it's Outbreak 1, you see the whole town, the whole city reduced to rubble. So, and then in the trailer of Resident Evil 9, you can see instead that there's a crater due to the missile impact, but also there's a good chunk of the city that's still standing. So I don't know. Maybe this is somewhat of a retcon, or maybe it has always been like this. But I don't remember it being like this, honestly, from what I remember. So yeah, possibly you'll go back to Raccoon City. So this is why I also think you're gonna have one of the legacy characters, because it wouldn't make sense. So you have.
I need a good technical analyst on this.
I mean, it's a no-brainer to have Raccoon City again. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't do this again, before this one, previously, because it's such a no-brainer. Like, if they had actually left Raccoon City untouched, like at some point the original plans were, I think they would have revisited Raccoon City way before this point. Because it's a no-brainer to go back to Raccoon City. So, but I think this is a small retcon. So, other than this, there's not really much else to talk about. The enemies, I don't know. There seems to be somewhat of a like Alan Wake vibe. It's sort of a thriller as well, because the protagonist is an FBI agent. So there seems to be a mix of a thriller horror in the trailer. And then you see some enemies. Some of them look like zombies, but it's not very clear. So who knows? But the gameplay will be shown at Gamescom, and the game comes out early next year, so there's not much to wait for this one. I don't think there's anything else interesting to discuss. Maybe I'm missing something, but so far I think these things I mentioned are the most interesting aspects of the trailer. So we'll see how the game plays and how the story evolves. But I also think like the franchise is getting in a weird spot, because it's when you get to number 9, I don't know, it's weird. It feels weird in terms of story. But of course, since this is a very important franchise, they're never gonna stop making games. And, after this one, you'll probably get another remake.
Resident Evil Requiem.
Like either Resident Evil 5 remake or Resident Evil 0 or Code Veronica remake, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's something for everybody, let's say. Like, but in the end, they always try to make the franchise to have people
with
casuals
much
or
more to
modern
share soon
audience
leading up to its launch on
play the
February
remakes or
27th,
the new games.
2026.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Capcom.
Let me know your
Amazing
thoughts,
announcement.
and I'll
Glad
catch
we
you in the
kept it a
next video.
surprise.
Bye bye,
All right.
guys.